Hello collective, welcome back to another video and welcome to Q4. If you're new here, my name is Yasmin. I'm a psychic medium, a channeler, and in this video we are going to be talking about your water energy toolkit. Some important information to help you succeed in your life and be ahead in your mind, body, and soul as it relates to the water element and water energy. This is part of the curriculum for School of the Ascending, and we are wrapping up this year with the element of water. And then in the next couple of videos, we'll dive into different esoteric sort of woo-woo aspects of the water element, if you will, its relation to history, cultures, and ancient traditions. So as always, I will be looking into my notes here. If you guys have any questions or you'd like to book a reading with me, you can check out the link in bio below. The element of water is the element of emotion, intuition, depth, healing, subconscious, flow, and adaptability. Water is associated with the direction of west in feng shui and Eastern medicine. Its seasons correlate with autumn, early winter, the descent inward, reflection, and rest. And of course, zodiac signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. I am a Pisces myself. The people that tend to have a little bit more emotion in their everyday life probably have some water in their chart. Other important information here, the body connection for water is related to the lymphatic system, kidneys, bladder, tears, blood. Spiritual themes of water is related to cleansing. We know that when we talk about holy water, okay? Baptisms, for example, intuition and emotional depth, as we've said, psychic receptivity, surrender, reflection, and the divine feminine energy. So if someone has a lot of water in their chart, it's perceived as more yin. The water element and energy symbolizes depth and mystery. It symbolizes the unseen layers of self and spirit, which is why it's very important to understand your emotions, to tap into vulnerability. And the world that we're in today will kind of stop us from doing that. It doesn't want us to be vulnerable, but it's important that we are. Water teaches flow and emotional wisdom. It teaches us how to feel without drowning, to release without losing yourself, and to listen to intuition rather than control the current. Obviously, I didn't memorize these guys, but I can tell you what I can with channeling, but I'd like to read off my notes, make sure I'm not missing anything here. So, water encourages emotional intelligence, as we know, and inner listening. The chakras associated with water are the sacral chakra, which makes sense because when a woman gives birth, the baby is coming out of her sacral region, okay? And you can think of it in terms of the connection to when a woman says, my water broke. So there's that connection there, something that you guys can remember. The sacral chakra is also linked to creativity and emotions. And it's also, as far as the water element goes, linked to the heart chakra with regards to empathy, emotions, as we said, and love. The planetary rulers of water includes the moon, Neptune, which rules dreams and spirituality, and Pluto, which rules transformation. The physical and symbolic associations of water, circulatory, lymphatic, urinary, and reproductive systems all align with the water element. So you see how every element actually has a connection to parts of our body. So it's all about connecting and finding these patterns with something so basic that has been created since the dawn of time to the minute aspects. It's present in every way of our life. So you can think of it how like an atom is one single minuscule thing that we don't really think about, but it's present in every single object that is physical and physical matter. So it's things like that that kind of gets you thinking like more appreciation, but also redefining the way that you look at your body, feel within your life and your mindset, etc. Water colors include blue, indigo, turquoise, and silver. Metals include silver and mercury. The direction of movement is going to be downward and inward as far as introspective flow. Symbols, of course, ocean, river, rain, chalice, mirror, and the moon. The archetypes of water includes the healer, the mystic, the empath, the priestess, the dreamer, and the deities throughout various traditions is Yamaya, which I don't know who this is, but this might come up in our later research. Poseidon, Ocean, Tiamat, and Kuan Yin. When there is excess water energy, we see that there are mood swings, oversensitivity, emotional overwhelm, escapism, and stagnation. So one way you can tell that someone hasn't healed the shadow of their emotional aspect of their right brain, for example, they haven't worked on themselves, worked on some of the inner child things, is when they lean more in the shadow of their water energy. And you can see that through mood swings. When someone is not able to handle their emotions, it's kind of erratic, if you will. And also if they are trying to separate themselves from people's, what we see here, escapism. So a lot of times, a lot of people who are in their shadow water energy, you can tell they haven't worked on themselves, as when they're trying to isolate themselves. And also if they tap into too much delusion, okay? There's a way to be delusional about your dreams and your visions, but when you're delusional about reality and what's happening in front of you is when someone needs to work on that water energy within themselves, okay? Deficient water energy is like emotional numbness, rigidity, lack of empathy, resistance to vulnerability. So these kind of go hand in hand. The excess water energy and the deficient water energy kind of lean into a sort of shadow frequency of escapism, of not being real, of not being here. And a lot of times what we find is people that are Pisces in this lifetime, or water signs in general, will sometimes end up in that frequency where they are too much in the Neptunian energy. Energetic and magical uses for the water element. Cleansing and purification is emotionally and spiritually clearing stagnation. So when we tap into the water element, one of the ways that we can clear our energy is something as simple as taking a shower, being mindful of the way that it feels when the water that you are privileged to have, because we know that there's people on this earth who don't have access to water, is hitting your body, cleansing away. Imagine and feel, truly tap into that sense of feeling the water washing away anything in your auric field, in your energy, any debris, anything, projections that you've carried from people around you, just washing away down the drain, leaving your vessel. And actually, fun fact, Eastern medicine talks about this, okay? The water energy will take away anything that's not serving you. It doesn't heal your problems, obviously. You have to do the work. But it is about noticing and seeing how those elements kind of connect to your energetic field, your biofield, the 12 auric layers that you have outside of you. Water can take this away, can clear the dust and debris. Kind of like how when it rains, rain will wash away the mud on the shoes, will wash away any debris that's on the street. It pushes all that stuff into the drains. It like clears, right? It also feeds, right? It feeds sustenance. If you think about how rain, how water helps life grow, you can think of it that way. So not only does it clear away the debris and dust from the pavement that is your vessel, that is your body and your auric field, it also blesses you in a sense, even if it's just your shower, you guys, even if you're just washing your hands, okay? It blesses you and provides sustenance for you to be replenished again. That's why human beings are 70% plus water, right? That's why it's important that we drink water. If you're going to be on survival mode, it's like you can go a couple days without eating, but you definitely can't go a day or two without water, right? So this is what I mean by that. Another energetic and magical use with the water element is through intuition enhancement. It's used in divination, through the dream world, and in meditation. It's used as a manifesting medium. It holds intention and energy as seen in water charging particles. Water element is also emotionally healing. It supports release, like we've talked about, forgiveness, and flow of suppressed emotions. So really, this whole quarter is going to talk about different aspects of the water element, but what you need to know today and from this video is that water is obviously beneficial, and the most obvious fact is that you can't really go more than 48 hours without drinking water, is that it can bring about an emotional energy within you. One of the ways that you can think about this is that the moon affects the tides of an ocean. It also affects human beings. Why? Because we're 70% plus water. The third thing that I want you to take away from all these notes that I've read today is that water has a very sacred energy connected to many, many ancient traditions and cultures. And that is why it is something that is ever flowing on this earth. The idea that we're going to run out of water is a farce. There's plenty of water to go around on this earth. Not only plenty of bodies of water, but also many, many ancient buildings that if you dug deep, you would find water channeled canals like they recently found about a year or 2 years ago in ancient Egypt. All right, so take notes of these, you guys. Save this video if it resonates. Turn your notifications on, whether you're watching this on Instagram or YouTube, and stay tuned for the next video. Hopefully gonna come out in the next few days, if not early next week. I send you guys all so much love and light, and until next time, go and grow.